Kia ora, I'm Sheree Kinnear, and these are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. A Defence Force Hercules is taking off here at the Royal New Zealand Air Force Base in Ruapehu this morning. It's heading to Europe with about 50 personnel to assist with transporting and distributing military aid destined for Ukraine.
The New Zealand Defence Force train and continue to train for these kinds of opportunities. In discussing matters with the team this morning, they're excited for the opportunity to go and play our part in what is a truly international effort to support Ukraine against the illegal invasion from Russia.
Meanwhile, Western governments are probing a claim from Ukrainian forces that Russia used chemical weapons in the besieged city of Mariupol. It's being claimed a Russian drone had dropped a poisonous substance on troops and civilians in the city, and that people were experiencing respiratory failure and neurological problems. It comes as President Volodymyr Zelensky lobbies Western governments for more direct intervention in the war. Back here, Ruapehu has been reported as being in its most active state in roughly 15 years. GNS Science is reporting the second highest carbon dioxide reading on record from the volcano, suggesting there's magma moving around. The risk of an eruption is still deemed unlikely, and Ruapehu sits at alert level 2. Alert level 3 only comes into force when there's actually an eruption happening. It's unknown whether it'll worsen. Our borders are now officially open to Australians again. Fully vaccinated Aussies can now come here without needing to isolate, with the first flight touching down from Melbourne just after midnight. Tourism Industry Aotearoa Chief Executive Rebecca Ingram says they're experiencing a slow and steady return of visitors. She says the first to arrive will be New Zealanders' family and friends.
And then our operators are reporting that they're seeing bookings in Queenstown and Auckland, predominantly out of Australia. But there's also some future interest coming in from the US.
Meanwhile, the government will today announce its review of the country's traffic light settings, which could see restrictions ease ahead of Easter. A shift to the orange setting would see capacity limits removed entirely for all indoor venues like cafes, bars and gyms. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's the message to people in the firing line as ex-tropical cyclone Feli brings rain and wind to much of the North Island today. Met Service has issued severe weather watches and warnings for the entire North Island and a red heavy rain warning for the Gisborne and Wairoa districts. And Boris Johnson has been fined for breaching COVID-19 regulations following allegations of lockdown parties at government offices. Johnson's government has been shaken by public anger over revelations that his staff held office parties, birthday celebrations and wine time Fridays in 2020 and 2021. Johnson has apologised and paid the fine, but that may not be enough to save his job. And those are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. For more and to stay up to date, head to nzherald.co.nz. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.